Happy Tuesday! To start off our March theme of things with wings that you all voted on, we have a quail-inspired bird that we're doing today. And you can see I used lots of different colors for that little one. We've got some more basic colors for our other birds. I made this one into a little card because I thought it was funny. And you can just see the variety we're doing here. Quail-inspired. It's okay. I thought this one would make a cute card too. But quail inspired. We're not trying to be precise here. We're trying to have fun and be whimsical and let go of any sort of perfection that might lie within. Okay, so that's one of the reasons I did the pinks and purples on the one on the right to just go, this does not have to look like any bird that you see in the wild. Okay, so let's have fun with this. Use your imagination. And we're going to start off with a drawing. Timestamps are in the description, so feel free to skip ahead if you don't need help with the drawing. I'm going to do this basic shape. I am going to add a tail as well, but we're going to start off very basically, and I am by no means a good drawer, but just to show you if you're not comfortable making that shape on its own, we're just going to start off with two circles. One little circle for the head, and then a nice big plump circle for our body. Again, you do not need to do these steps if you are comfortable just kind of doing basically an upside down light bulb shape is what I'm going to call it. And now we're just going to connect our circles with a little more, fluid lines. And I'm just starting, this is pencil that just a regular, mechanical pencil. This is nothing fancy, very inexpensive. I got it on Amazon. And once you have those two circles in and connected, then I'm going to draw the little top knot. And again, if you look back at my practice pieces, they all look different. You can be as dramatic with this as you would like. I'm going to add just a little beak here. Be dramatic if you'd like with this as well. I'm just doing mine very tiny. Little triangle. So far, two circles, a triangle, the little floofy top knot. We're going to do another triangle for the tail. That's why I think it's so important to do step by step if you're uncomfortable with this, because you can just see we're doing circles and triangles basically. We're going to do two triangles for the chunky little legs that I would like this bird to have. And then we are drawing in the little claws. I don't even know how many they have. I'm just doing three kind of in the front and one on the back of each of his little feet. All right. I am now coming in with a micron pen, and this is important. If you do not have a waterproof pen at this point, you're going to need to just carefully erase lines that you don't want, because what we need to be able to paint over this pen without it bleeding, unless you like it to bleed, because some people actually like that effect, and that's okay. All right, using my kneaded eraser to then erase the unwanted pencil lines. You can roll it like that, you can rub it, you can tap it, it doesn't matter. Some people will tell you there's only one right way to do it, but I am here to dispute that. Kidding, I don't want to fight, but also I don't want to follow rigid rules because it's art. All right, now we're going to mix some paint. I am starting with Prussian blue and then mixing in some yellow green and just kind of carefully mixing it at first and then just adding a little bit more of the green and going for it, mixing it all together once I like what I see. And again, you can see in my practice pieces that they're just different colors that I've used. One of them I did more of a Payne's gray and blue, and the other ones are more of this kind of teal green type of thing. I don't really know. I'm not really good at colors either. I'm not here to pretend that I am. All right, so to start off with, I'm just gonna lay in this nice little color kind of around the neck area and adding some water up into it because I'm going to do a lot of wet on wet in this painting, and which makes it very fun for me. It's one of my favorite things to do. And you can see I've got plenty of water in here, no puddles or anything like that, but just plenty wet because I want it to play with some more colors that I'm about to add. So I've cleaned my brush off and I'm bringing in some sienna. I am using Melion paints here. I've got a size 6 brush. I should have mentioned that at the beginning. And I am going to now paint in the bottom portion of his body. But like I said, that blue-green is still wet. I got a little outside the line, so I just dabbed it with my finger. All right, so the blue-green is still wet, and we're gonna just let that sienna go right up into our blue-green. We're not gonna worry about it, and I'm gonna go back into the color and just dab it along the edges where I see fit, and I'm bringing it down into our sienna because I really do want those to blend together. See how at the bottom there where the blue-green is kind of bleeding into that sienna? I love that look. If you don't love the blending of the colors, all you need to do is let each color dry in between. I've still got everything wet. I haven't dried anything. I've got Payne's Gray now in my palette, and I'm going to dab some of that on the edges. I just like a little bit of varying colors, and yeah, it just, to me, it adds interest, and I love it. I think it's looking really pretty. Actually, it's kind of looking like a beach, right? Anyway, I didn't mean to do that, but lovely nonetheless. Moving on, again, I'm not drawing anything. I'm going to grab some of our sienna and start painting in the head area and letting it bleed with that blue-green in the body. Now, I would like you to not be like I was when I first started watercolors, which is when I was watching videos, I would ignore when the person was saying, okay, make sure you dry everything in between, or okay, don't dry anything. I just ignored it and did what I felt like doing, and I made a lot of mistakes that way because I just didn't realize that it mattered. It's gonna make a big difference whether or not you dry it. All right, now everything is still wet. I have not dried one thing, and I've got some more of our sienna and even more on my brush. I added some more color to the palette and just painting the tail again, just letting it blend in with the body. And now I'm dabbing it in, okay? And you can see what the effect that that's having. Everything's wet. It's not really, really wet. One of the key things to remember here is that you shouldn't have a ton of water on your brush, okay? You should have color on there. If there's too much water, it's gonna be a super cauliflower effect. You might wanna just practice on some little circles and just practice wet on wet before you paint the bird. All right, now I've grabbed some Payne's Gray and also some of our blue-green mixture, and I'm just dabbing that into the tail. Just to me, this has added interest. I like how it looks. Everything is still wet. I'm gonna just keep saying that because I don't want you to think I've let anything dry because I love how it blends like that. It's not gonna blend like that if everything is dry. Okay, loving how that looks. I love the variation of color. I love how everything's kind of bleeding together. I'm now adding some Van Dyke Brown to my sienna for the chunky little legs and just going to paint those in. Remember, look at my practice pieces. You can have cute little chunky legs like this, or you can have long, lanky, goofy looking legs. It just is basically like, what kind of mood are you in? Okay, so I have gone right into my pan of Van Dyke Brown because I wanted it to be very saturated. And you can see I'm dotting that on the edge now. I told you I like to have a little bit of like darker shading on one side of the body. Bringing it right on up into the head as well. Don't you love it? I love all these colors together. Kind of coming around the neck. I did not think this through before I did it. I'm really just playing and dotting it in here and there. Again, have not tried one thing yet. We're just letting everything blend together. Getting a little bit more down here in the legs as well. Give it some shadows from that big old body. I love it. So cute. This next step may or may not be considered out of order. You could have drawn in the eye when we were doing all of that, the body before, but it's okay. Drawing in the eye now, just a circle with a dot in the middle, which is going to change. So I always just think maybe it's best to watch my videos all the way through and then decide what order you want to do things in because I don't always make sense. All right, now I have dried all of the paint thoroughly and I'm basically just drawing the letter C and I'm going to draw it again. So there's, one within the other. And I'm starting at the eye and just kind of going over to the neck area. Again, this is not like accurate to any sort of quail I've ever seen. I don't know. I looked at a lot of images before painting this, but I'm not using a reference photo at all while I'm doing this. So I'm just kind of putting in some fun little details that I remember in my mind. This one, she looks like she's got a sweatband on, ready to do some Jane Fonda. I know I've called it a he and a she. I have no, it's probably a he because the male birds are always so colorful, right? All right, I'm taking some of our blue-green, putting it up in his head, and yeah, just wanted some color up there. So, and then I'm going to fill in these white spaces down here as well. Now, I don't like those kind of harsh lines that are up in the head, so I'm going to fix that here by taking some of our burnt sienna. It's not burnt sienna, it's just sienna and Van Dyke brown mixture. And while that teal green or whatever is still wet, we're going to just blend it right together and just kind of, again, doing the same down here so we don't have any harsh lines, helping it go in there if it's not blending super well. There we go. I like it. And you can leave white space. Sometimes I tend to fill it in, and I really like white space to show, though, too, when I see it in certain paintings. It's really all a matter of personal preference. All right, now I've just got plain old black. Coal black is what it's called in my Mei Liang set. And I'm just going to fill in the top knot. But by the way, I love that it's called a top knot because it just reminds me of like kind of how I wear my hair sometimes. Anyway, that's more like a messy floof on my head. But anywho, fill in our top knot with black or whatever color. You can have it purple, it doesn't matter. And you might need to do a couple coats depending on how dark. I did add another coat of black that I didn't show in the video because it's just adding another coat of black, but I wanted to let you know that I did. So, and doing the same with our little designs that we have here as well. And I've got everything dried now, coming in, as you can see, with my micron size 8, and I am just going to outline the entire bird and speed you through that because it's just outlining. All right, and enjoy that. Use whatever thickness of pen you would like. And I've slowed it down here again just to show you in real time the kind of texture that I'm adding on the body. And you can see it's just, I'm not trying to be careful at all. They're just little basically smiley face mouths that I'm putting in for the texture. But now that you see what I'm doing, I am going to speed this part out because I do quite a few of these and just kind of play with the placement of all these little lines until I like what I see. Have you heard me say that a million times on this channel? Yes, I basically play until I like what I see. So hopefully we're just able to play and have fun and embrace imperfections and whimsy, and oh my gosh, I just love it. I'm actually working on another very whimsical project that I'm so excited to share with you, hopefully this week. I don't know. It's hard making videos, not hard, just time consuming. All right, for the legs, I decided stripes because stripes, you can make polka dots, really have fun, and just kind of darkening up the little tootsies here. And yeah, this is like tweak, tweak, tweak. Just step back, see what you think. And honestly, I could have probably left all these little tweaks out of the video and you wouldn't have even known that I did because they're most likely not going to be noticeable to anybody but me. But here we are. Okay, and then here we go with the eye. Talk about tweaks. I just filled the whole thing in with black because I didn't like how it was looking. Again, look at my practice pieces. Some of them are more like cartoon eyes where they're looking at us from the side. Oh, I was going to add the beak here. I used yellow ochre for my beak. You can do whatever you want. I think mostly the beaks of quail are dark, but I liked the light color, the yellow. All right, I made sure that everything's dry, including the pen, because you really do need to let our pens dry in between. It doesn't take long, and I've just put a little white outline in there and a dot, and then I could have left it really. When I look at editing and I'm going, why did I change it again? So now make sure that white is dry, and we're coming back in with a micron, a really small one at 0.005, and I'm just going to kind of go over some of that white again once it's dry because they do blend together. They won't work well if it's wet pen on wet pen. But it is one of the beauties of our pens because if we put too much white in, we just go over it with black. If we put too much black, we go over it with white. We can always fix something. And I just fussed a little bit too much with these, and that's okay. I like it just like that as I'm looking at it in the editing version of this. But real time, Carrie did not like it like that. So I added another little dot And there we go. I think we're going to leave it here. Woo! And adding some white. This is going to be scritchy scratchy, adding lots of little highlights. I think I'll go ahead and speed you up through this because I'm really just scratching here. The highlights I edit are very subtle. You can always slow the video down if you wanted to watch it slower. You can always speed me up too if I'm going too slowly. All right, I've got Payne's Gray on my brush now, just kind of like giving him a little something to stand on the ground. And yeah, it's very subtle, but again, just gives him something to stand on so he's not floating. And then you need to decide at this point, are we going to put a background in or are we going to just leave it a white background? I kind of like both. It's kind of very personal preference. So you can see that one on the right with the goofy guy, I added the background and I've decided I'd like to do that for this one too. Sometimes it's just a matter of, let's see, do I have time to add a background? I do today. So I have added just a little bit more of the Prussian blue to my blue-green mixture just to make it a little bit different from the color of the body. And I'm going to speed you through because adding a background is pretty self-explanatory and don't think you need step-by-step instructions there. And there she is. I love her. Oh, wait, it's a he. I forget. Okay, time to sign. I really cannot wait to see what you guys do for this because your creativity in past paintings we've done, I just love it. I also love the ones that look just like mine and don't ever feel like copying is a bad thing. We all do it when we're beginning and also just on days where we don't feel creative and like coming up with something on our own. Remember, legs can be crazy, lanky, goofy like this, or they can be chonky, chonky. You can have the cartoon eyes where they're looking at us from the side. I think it's adorable and hilarious. I am easily amused, granted. All right. Have so much fun with this, and I'll be looking for you in the community tab here on YouTube if you feel up to sharing with us. If not, that's okay too. Okay, see you next time.